I think I've just seen the weirdest tweet I've ever seen from Treyarch, where they've basically just apologised for nerfing zombies, for ruining the fun for people, as they say. If you've been on the internet and have been leaking on Twitter over the past couple of days to do with Call of Duty news, you would have seen loads of people, pretty much everyone, complaining about the fact that Black Ops 6 Zombies has just gone downhill. From the great start it got off on in October to now in January, where I can't talk for the multiplayer portion of the game because I don't play it, but I've seen loads of people hating on that as well. But as far as zombies goes, yeah, the latest map, Citadel Daymore, just really hasn't done it for people. It was pretty good on release, it had a lot of hype around it. Some of the good talking points about it were unintentional, not glitches, but I guess bugs, things that Treyarch didn't intend to be in the map, but they were, and made it so the map was actually more fun than it was supposed to be. However, Treyarch ended up patching these bugs and glitches, which were really the only things that were making Citadel Daymore a fun map. And I'm not saying it's bad, just giving you my personal opinion. It's nothing special, it's okay. I don't think it's followed on very well from the success of Terminus and Liberty Falls, but these bugs and exploits that you could do in the map were making it more fun because it was broken. And of course, as you kind of expect, Treyarch patched it. Those changes came a week ago, and since then, everybody has been shitting on it, saying, what is happening to Black Ops 6 Zombies? How has it come to this? And well, it seems like Treyarch have seen all of that feedback, and they've actually done something I've never seen in my life. They've reverted those patches. They have unfixed those exploits. This goes against everything I expect from game developers. They want to release products with as little bugs and glitches as possible. That's never going to happen, but any that do remain, they'll fix them over time, which is what Treyarch were doing. But I've never seen a developer listen to complaints from their community telling them, actually, those bugs and glitches were fun, unpatch everything, and them developers actually go, if that's how you want to play it, even though we didn't intend it, we'll do that. So just take a look at what Treyarch just tweeted out. They said, hey everyone, we've got a handful of Zombies updates live today. Too long don't read. We are reverting the changes that we made on January the 3rd that nerfed fun. We are giving Shadow Rift 4 new buffs, fixing some annoying leftover bugs, and updating Deadlight Greenlight in week 2 and 3. Let's just go ahead and take a look at the patch notes of what they said specifically. Hey everyone, let's talk about those changes we made on January the 3rd. The team has always focused on making zombies fun and rewarding. It is why we make video games. But we don't always nail it first time. Some fixes for bugs or exploits can become lower priority as more important issues come up, and some need to be held for an update further down the line. Last Friday's changes to Big Game for Shadow Rift, the Shock Charge speedrun setup for Terminus, and directed mode spawn delays after 5 loot rounds are prime examples of these. We know it's not fun to see a fix multiple weeks later for something that wasn't bothering you in the first place. So we are reverting the directed mode changes, giving Shadow Rift 4 new buffs, and scheduling a fix to allow speedrunners to safely use the Shock Charge tactic in Terminus again. The first two are live now, with the speedrun fix needing some extra testing before it goes live. Thanks to everyone for the reports on the visual effects not showing properly in Citadel Daymore, and crashes that can happen when you're using a sword while Ether Shroud is active with the Void Sheath augment. The team produced fixes for these bugs shortly after they popped up, and they're live today. So that was the first major announcement. There's a couple of more which I'm going to show you in just a second, but that's huge, right? This does show, and we know this from other things they've said in the past, but I've never seen them go as far as to revert fixes that they made. I've seen Treyarch make announcements saying, hey, we've heard what you guys are saying, we're going to make changes to the game that will fix it, but I've never seen them saying, hey, we've heard the things you are saying, and we are going to unfix the changes that we made for you. Because things like these are, as they say, exploits. I don't really follow speedruns, I don't really know much about the Shock Charge tactic, but that was clearly not how Treyarch intended the map to be played, so they changed it or fixed it, as they would say, which I assume, again, I haven't looked into it properly, made speedruns slower and less fun, but then meant that was how Treyarch intended for Citadel Daymore to be played in the first place. But as we all know, with glitches, bugs, exploits, some of them can ruin games, but a lot of them make games more fun. They just do, as long as they don't give you an advantage over other players. And this is where Zombies differs to something like multiplayer. If these bugs, glitches, and exploits were on MP, if it's a PvP mode and they give you the advantage over enemy players that you're playing against, then yes, it needs fixing, because it might be fun for you, but it's not fun for the person on the other end. But Zombies is PvE, you're not playing against other players, you're playing against the computer, so no one on the other side is getting hurt, besides from the developers, Treyarch. I mean, I guess if you're running competitions, perhaps, for example, if you're doing a speedrun competition and one side doesn't know about the Shock Charge tactic and the other side does, then there's a disadvantage there, perhaps. But at the end of the day, it is just a tactic that you can learn yourself, like taking shortcuts in games. The developers put them in there, so it's up to you to find them and use them. But yeah, MP games, exploits should always be fixed, unless everybody knows about them and is using them. But when it comes to zombies, no one's getting hurt. If it's not ruining the game, ruining your experience, then it doesn't really matter because they can make the game more fun. This reminds me of, what was the map called? Die Rise and the wonder weapon in that map. I don't know, I'm having a massive brain fart right now. What was it called? The Soliquifier. That weapon was so OP, literally one shot from it could kill a whole round of zombies. You could just sit up a corner and they would walk into the Soliquifier shot, causing a chain reaction. It was actually really fun to do. And then they patched it. It was no longer as effective, making the map as a whole less fun. I don't think they ever should have made that patch in Die Rise either. Just leave the Soliquifier how it was on day one, and you still get people complaining about that to this day. So yeah, the point is there are some exploits in games, some bugs, some glitches that just don't need fixing. If it's a single player game, if you're playing against AI, even if it's not what the developers intended, they can actually lead to the game being more fun for the player, which at the end of the day should be the main priority, right? Just to have as much fun as you want, even if it's a little bit broken. So they're reverting the changes that they made to directed mode, they're buffing Shadow Rift, and eventually, after they do a little bit of testing, they're reverting the changes to the shock charge tactic as well. But those aren't the only comments Treyarch made about it. In regards to the Shadow Rift specifically, they said, the big game augment for Shadow Rift was never intended to one-shot elites, but we know it worked like that for months, and we heard you about the latest changes taking too much away from Shadow Rift overall. So we've added 4 new buffs to make Shadow Rift activate more frequently, including a 25% cooldown reduction to keep it powerful and fun to use. So these are the new changes that they've done to Shadow Rift. The normal enemy activation rate has been increased from 15% to 20%. Special enemy activation rate has been increased from 5 to 7%. Elite enemy activation rate with the big game augment equipped has been increased from 5% to 7%. And the cooldown timer has been decreased by 25%. Those changes to the activation rate are minimal, so it'll have to be tested to see how good it really is. Some of the other big disappointments were about the new Deadlight Greenlight mode, which was the zombies mode for Squid Game. A lot of people just saying it's complete ass, it's not worth your time checking out, it probably wasn't even worth Treyarch's time developing it, it's rubbish. Treyarch have heard all of that feedback. They've now added Liberty Falls to the map selection and increased the round cap to 20 before exfil. They said with the launch of Deadlight Greenlight, we wanted to ease players into the limited time mode with a single map and a 10 round cap before exfil to make sure the majority of players had a chance to be successful without feeling they needed gobblegums to survive. Basically a bite-sized experience that's not too punishing. Looks like it was too easy and over too soon for a lot of you. Starting today, we've added Liberty Falls to the map selection and extended the round cap to 20. After that, we'll plan week 3's round cap extension based on how crazy the community wants the challenge to get. The only thing I really would say to that is this is just another example of Treyarch, I guess, and I don't want to say this, appeasing more towards the newbier audience of zombies, the newer players, which has been a complaint of a lot of people for a long time now. Being 100% honest, Black Ops 6 Zombies is not difficult at all. It's probably one of the easiest Call of Duty zombies you'll ever play. It's the same for Cold War, it's the same for Vanguard and Modern Warfare 3. Modern Warfare 3 is a little bit different, but ever since the introduction of armor and zombies, it's a really easy mode. It doesn't matter if you're an OG player or a new player. It should not be difficult for you if you just get used to the map layout and how the mode works. So knowing that Black Ops 6 Zombies is super easy anyway, it feels like Treyarch were doing what they've done ever since Cold War, was they were intending Deadlight Greenlight to be more for those multiplayer players who want to jump into it on zombies, not for people who play zombies regularly, which is annoying. It is what it is, but at least they've made it a little bit more difficult. I don't know how hard it's going to be, but the easiness of Black Ops 6 Zombies for me can make it boring. It was the same for Cold War, Vanguard. I just don't find the modern day zombies games a challenge at all, unless you're going past round 50, which takes hours. I don't have time for that. Jumping on zombies for an hour and a half, 2 hours max, I think is a good playtime, but with that amount of playtime, the game is still super easy, unless you're really bad at the game. And then the final comment Treyarch put out was to do with various stability fixes that they made, where they said sometimes bugs appear fixed in testing, but turn out to still be an issue in live game after the patch goes out. This sucks for everyone involved, and can lead to inaccurate patch notes, which we never want. The Vermin double attack bug is one of these, and like the Terminus speedrun fix, the proper solution for it unfortunately can't be implemented as quickly as some of the other items listed above, so that's something they're looking to fix as well. But overall, what I would take from this is, well, one, it's weird seeing a developer go back on themselves and unpatch patches that they made. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And 2, I think a lot of this has also got to do with them perhaps appeasing more towards people who don't really play zombies that much, and forgetting about the players who play this game regularly or only play it. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to let you know what's going on, what the latest info is on Treyarch and Black Ops 6 Zombies. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, drop a like rating, make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest content on the channel. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.